Cyberpunk 2077 was probably game of the year at E3 for a second year in a row, which is pretty rare. Unfortunately, this year I could not go to E3, so I sent this Irish fella all the way from Ireland to check out the game and report back to Game Riot. So he saw roughly, you might have confirmed this, 40 minutes of gameplay.
No, it's like 55.
55?
Yeah, it was like near an hour.
And apparently he got a free jacket, but we're not going to talk about that because I'm still jealous.
Yeah, I mean, it was an extra large, so it probably wouldn't have fit you. What do you take, extra small? Or
Is it extra large as well? You kidding me?
yeah, you're
that's
an
my
extra small
size.
though, right?
Oh, damn. So the game is officially coming out on the 16th of April 2020, not 2077, thank the Lords, but it did get announced like 7 years ago, so it's been a long time coming. So the demo was on a high-end PC, I believe. I'm just guessing here. Live demo with a controller on like a big like projector. Is that right?
Yeah, we were in like a little theater room. Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet. So basically, whatever you saw, would you say this is potentially Game of the Year candidate for next year?
Oh no, it was trash. No, I'm kidding. It was pretty amazing. It definitely has a shot. Like, I mean, up there with The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Shit like that.
I was saying on Twitter, I think that 2020 is going to be like potentially the best year for games ever.
Yeah, 2020 looks hot already. You got
It's
Watch Dogs
insane.
Legion, Cyberpunk, Last of Us, Ghost
Halo,
of Tsushima,
New
Marvel
consoles.
Avengers.
It just looks
Yeah,
insane.
new consoles too.
So I'm really excited for 2020. It almost seems like there may be too many games coming out, and this year's perhaps not had as many like high quality games.
Especially early this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, there's more games coming out later this year, but
But in terms of like Cyberpunks or Last of Us or like those sort of games,
yeah, there's been nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
So how did the demo start? Was it? I believe it was about customization. Is that right?
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of customization. It looks like you can make your character trans if you want to. You know, if you're into that thing, you can pick your own gender, but basically like lots of customization with the hair, all that kind of shit. They didn't really show us too much of the customization because they wanted to save that, but they picked a male and they picked a female later on when they were showing us different routes to go down or whatever. But yeah, they showed us a crazy guy and then they were like, yeah, we're not actually going to use this guy, and then they switched it over to a pretty normal looking dude.
Well, what sounds quite interesting is the fact that the gender you pick also has a factor in your replies, conversations, and also you get to select your background. So I believe you got corporate, is that right? Street and nomad, I think the options.
Yeah, and that affects like your abilities and going into the game and how you can progress through the story.
So I guess there's definitely room there for like multiple playthroughs,
Yeah, definitely.
which is
Definitely.
but then again the game's going to be like God knows how long, so
Yeah,
it may
already.
be a bit scary. And then you maybe touched on skills and abilities. You saw the tree and stuff like that. That's a dog.
That is a dog. That's my dog.
So you got, was there like a skill or like an agility or something, or something to do with being cool? Like, I swear that's what I heard.
They were going through this part in the mission where you had to like take out these drone things. They're basically like drone turrets or whatever. And there's different ways you can do it. You can go in there. They show two different ways to do it. So the first guy, the guy you were playing as, was like an intelligent character. He was like a hacker.
Okay.
And he went in stealthy and kind of just I think you had to have his certain level of hacking ability to take out the turrets stealthily. And then they showed the playthrough with the female, the female was basically like just brute strength, and she went in and just absolutely murdered everyone and kicked down a door that you wouldn't have been able to kick down unless you were playing as a character with that much strength or that much brute strength, pretty much.
So again, it's leading a lot towards multiple playthroughs. Like apparently you can play the whole game and not kill anyone, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, you can go through the whole game. Yeah, they told us that you can go through the whole game without killing anyone.
That is madness.
Which is kind of insane.
I was
Or else you can just kill everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill everyone probably. I want like a mixture of stealth and strength, if that's even possible.
Yeah, I think there's like multiple different ways to go through the game. Like even if you don't want to do multiple playthroughs, every playthrough between like other people is going to be different, so you can like check out other people's playthroughs and see how they're doing things.
So did you play Witcher? Was you a fan of Witcher, or was you like?
Yeah, I played Witcher. Yeah, cool. I played Witcher 2 and Witcher 3.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I played through actually all of them. Yeah, I played through them on Steam just a couple. I think a year before The Witcher 3 came out, I played The Witcher and The Witcher 2 in a row.
So
then I played Witcher
you're
3.
a CD Projekt fan then, basically.
Yeah, I love The Witcher. I wouldn't say The Witcher is like one of my favorite games,
but but
you
like it.
This definitely looks a lot more in depth than The Witcher though. And The Witcher's already pretty big. I wouldn't say in terms of scope it's going to be like bigger than The Witcher, but definitely in terms of like customization and the different ways you can do things, there's a lot more depth to the customization side of things.
And let's go through some of the hacks. So one of the hacks I've heard about is you actually hack someone's augmented arm and actually turn the gun on themselves and shoot them.
Oh yeah. I think they showed that off at one point. Yeah. I can't really remember that, but I think they got her to shoot herself or something.
That's mad. And like apparently there's like these like jacked up, almost like mutants, steroid sort of humans, and this guy was fighting like a training. So it sort of punches back. So it's like a sort of practice dummy, basically.
Oh yeah.
And then the dummy, you can sort of hack it and put strength up, and it just punches the guy back, and the head just goes clean off.
They showed some cool little things like that, different little ways you can do things.
So it's quite hard to describe what happens in the gameplay, but apparently the gameplay will be coming out around PAX West in August, so you guys can actually see the gameplay.
I thought it was like Gamescom.
No, I believe it's PAX West, so it's slightly later in August, but eventually we can watch it like the 2018 gameplay that we saw from E3. So
they went into pretty depth of it, as well as wait, I can't speak English though, so it's fine. They went pretty in depth, is what I meant to say, on like the gang system. There's different types of gangs and crews, and the one that they showed in this demo, they were called the Animals. It was like a bunch of African Americans, and they basically tried to get you to come work for them.
Okay.
And you have to give them your chip, and if you give them you can choose, basically. There's a lot of choice in your character decisions as well. Like you can make different decisions in the conversations. And with these guys, they asked you to give them their chip. If you give them their chip, you work for them. They said that they'll give you information. There's this information on this chick that you want, and they'll give it to you if you do a job for them. But you have to choose whether you give them your chip or not. It's taking a risk because they can, if they have your chip, they can basically like take you out. They can like hack into your chip and take you out, which is what ends up happening.
Oh,
you do the job for them, and then after the job, there's this guy from the FBI. He like turns off the chip for a second to try and talk to you, and he tells you basically that they're going to betray you, that they're betraying you, they're going to kill you, they're going to like hack in your chip and fry your brain, basically.
Whoa.
And then you can choose whether to trust this FBI guy or not. In this playthrough, they chose not to trust the FBI guy. They trusted the animal crew, and the FBI guy was right. They ended up like frying his brain. Somehow you survived. The FBI guy, I'm pretty sure, died, but you ended up surviving, and you go back to the animal gang after, and they like can't believe you're alive, and basically you end up in a shootout with them after.
Damn. Again,
pretty
so
cool,
if you picked a different background, apparently if you pick street, there's more conversational choices in this bit. In this demo, they were corporate, so there was a bit limited in terms of what you could say. So again, that's really interesting to see like how the backgrounds work, how the gameplay works in terms of you can be stealthy and hacky, or you can go full in strength mode and just shoot everybody. I really like how there's just so many different options.
Yeah, and I think it will depend on who you're talking to as well. Like if you're corporate, there's probably other gangs or associations that which you can talk more with, where a street person wouldn't be able to really converse with them as well.
Yeah. So this was gameplay was taken from Pacifica, which is like a different area of Cyberpunk 2077. I believe the last gameplay we saw was from Night City, so that was a lot more vibrant, a lot more richer. Apparently Pacifica was supposed to be quite a sort of rich, high economic, like particular part of the world, but apparently they had like a big crash, and apparently it's a bit sort of derelict. It's not as eye-catching as perhaps the first demo, but it's supposed to be quite derelict. It's supposed to be a little bit more like street. Did you get that vibe as well?
The difference between Night City, you can definitely tell.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like this was ugly or anything. It was still pretty beautiful. The world itself is what impressed me the most about this game for sure. Like just how real it feels. It feels like a real world. And they showed that off as well by kind of just going out of the city a little bit on your motorbike. You have a motorbike you can drive around, and you can go in first person or third person. But they went out of the city and kind of showed you the city from afar, and it was just fucking beautiful. Like the lights, everything. It's just the game looks incredible. For how big a game this is, the graphics are amazing. Like it really does.
Apparently there's 6 areas and we've only seen 2, so
yeah,
the scope of it's going to be pretty crazy. Did the Black have radio stations?
Yeah, I believe it did. They changed over the radio stations a couple of times, I think. Yeah.
The nanowire, that seems pretty cool. So apparently you can whip people's heads off in slow-mo, which is quite impressive, and like limbs and stuff. And you can use the nanowire to like hack into people's arms and stuff like that. I think that was a weapon, wasn't it? Like a sort of whippy light thing. I don't know.
Like a wire.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really remember that too well, but I remember something like that.
It's one of those demos you sit down.
Now that you mentioned it, the beheading thing.
Yeah. It's one of those demos you sit down and like it's a lot to take in. It's like there's so much going on, and
it's like 55 minutes as well. Like so.
Oh, I forgot to mention Johnny Silverhand. So he is Keanu Reeves. Apparently, he's got a bunch of lines. So he's got more lines than the main character, which is
he was in the demo quite a bit.
Yeah,
apparently he has the most lines out of anyone in the game besides the main character.
So is he talking like during the gameplay, or is it just like cutscenes or things? Is it?
So he's basically like this kind of. It seems like he's like
in your head,
your mentor, like in your head, and he's like this kind of hallucination in your head, and he's kind of guiding you along the way on what to do and giving you advice as you go along.
That's cool. So apparently, like, they didn't even like contact him until like last E3. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy that he has that many lines, seeing as he only came into the game.
He's coming quite late. But that's
yeah.
But
by the way, I forgot to mention as well, they did at the like when we actually went in to play the demo, they had like this cool little bar with like posters all around and like neon lighting. So it was like an actual Cyberpunk setting as we walked into this bar with free drinks and shit like that. And they had these 2 people wearing the Cyberpunk jackets, like not the jackets that we got, but like actual fucking neon glowing jackets, like that went up to their around their necks, and they were taking pictures with people, stuff like that. Thought it was really cool. Boogie was there as well. You know Boogie?
Oh, was he like in your like?
Thing, he was in my session. Yeah. No, I think the game's going to be awesome. It looks amazingly good from what I'm seeing. The shooting kind of looks like it could use some work. It wasn't like amazingly smooth, but they do have time. They have like nearly a whole year to smooth that out. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad or anything. But
it's just a little bit.
It didn't look 100%
generic,
right.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's why maybe I would lead to more towards the sort of hacking side of things. It sounds quite interesting. Like they can hack into like their bodies and make them shoot themselves.
Yeah, I don't think you'll need to use the shooting like every time you're in a fight. Like you can definitely do things different kind of ways. So as you said as well, you don't even have to kill anyone. So you don't even have to use the shooting if you don't want to. That's
mad that you can go the whole game. Apparently even bosses, you can actually decide whether to just let them go or let them live, sort of thing.
So, kind of crazy.
I'm very excited for Cyberpunk, despite the fact I've not officially gone into a, whatever you want to call it, like an actual appointment and actually seen the gameplay behind closed doors, annoyingly. But I'm still really excited to play the game. Hopefully we'll have some gameplay.
He's not clouded enough.
What? Hopefully we get the chance to play it next year or this year at some point. Who knows? But yeah, really excited for the game. And yeah, subscribe for some more Cyberpunk very soon. Also go and check out the Apex Sound. Link to his channel will be in the description below. And yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to...
Literally the reading on my... just red. Just pure red. So, Cyberpunk... Oh, God damn it. Oh. So Cyberpunk 2020. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cyberpunk 2020 is coming out next year, bro. Do you want me to do the intro? It seems like you're struggling, buddy, honestly.
I'm really bad at intros. Takes me like. So God damn. Oh Oh, man. Yeah, so the game is officially coming out on the 16th of April, 2020, not 2077, thank the Lord. But the game has been, I think, announced like 6-7 years ago, so that's... What the...